Okay, Stevie Nicol, let's have some transfer talk. Transfer window not yet open ahead of potential summer moves, but there's speculation aplenty. And one that seems to be gathering pace over the last 24 hours or so. This one seems to be moving, with Jude Bellingham and Real Madrid being strongly linked, with the suggestions that personal terms are even being discussed between the agent and Real Madrid. What kind of signing would Jude Bellingham be for Real Madrid, and how many other clubs would be frustrated that they didn't get him?
Every other club on the planet would be frustrated. I mean, the guy's a player.
Yeah.
And no surprise, when the best players become available, Real Madrid are in for them. And Real Madrid are a huge pool, let's be honest. Perennial Champions League contenders. And then depending on whatever year they fancy it, they try and win domestically as well. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer for any proper footballer when a team like Real Madrid offers to take you. You know that you're pretty much guaranteed silverware, and that's why we play the game. We play the game to win, and we play the game to get medals, and we like to win cup finals and win leagues and Champions Leagues, and if a team like Real Madrid comes in for you, that's pretty much what they put on the table. You come to us, son, and you'll win everything that you want. We'll be part of it together. So, not a surprise. Bellingham's a great player. He will absolutely fit in at Real Madrid. I mean, the question is, who doesn't start when Bellingham does? That would be the question for me.
Yeah, I think it's a longer-term transition. Look, he starts from day one. Of course he does. But with Modric, who has been magnificent for the football club, in his mid-30s now, he's not going to last forever. So you'll have games that you'll play alongside Modric. You'll have games that you'll probably play instead of. You've got Tchouaméni, who can kind of hold the fort in front of the defence, and he can provide support for the front three. So I suppose it's a win-win all round for Bellingham. The question to follow that would be, Cristiano Ronaldo is part of our transfer rumour talk. There's always talk. This time he's not happy in Saudi Arabia. He wants to move. Newcastle's been mentioned, but there's always that in the back of the mind. Could he go back to Real Madrid? If they're seeing someone like Modric, who's coming to the end of his career, and they're buying young in Jude Bellingham, would they even look the way of Cristiano Ronaldo? Is that a transfer that isn't even going to be discussed in the boardroom, or do you think it might be rekindled?
If Real Madrid sign Cristiano Ronaldo, they're bonkers. I mean, forget the name, forget the history. What is he going to give you? And he's not going to give Real Madrid what he certainly used to and what they need. So for me, this would be pie in the sky. This is not a way forward for Real Madrid. Cristiano Ronaldo is playing where he is because basically the top sides, along with his wages, didn't think it was the right thing to do because of what he offers now. Listen, he was a fantastic player, still is a great player, but he doesn't offer what he used to at the highest level, and that's just a fact. That's nothing against him personally. It is just a fact. So Real Madrid, in my opinion, you're taking a step forward, signing Bellingham, but to follow that up with signing Ronaldo makes you, for me, would mean two steps back. So I don't see that happening whatsoever. The Bellingham one, absolutely, that's the way forward for Real Madrid. That's what Real Madrid do. I mean, I can't think off the top of my head Real Madrid signing an older player ever. I don't see it. They sign somebody either in the prime or coming into the prime, or somebody who they're going to develop. So I don't see the Ronaldo signing at all. It would certainly be a move, a step backwards for me.
If he does leave Saudi Arabia to come back to Europe or maybe Major League Soccer, is there a team that might be interested, or is he yesterday's man?
Oh, I think there's no question he's past his best. That would be the nicest way to put it. And it comes to every single footballer. There comes a time when the legs don't take you as they take you to where you want to go, but just not quite as fast as they used to. So that's the bottom line. So yeah, he's past his best. If he wants to go back to Portugal for emotional reasons or sentimental reasons, that would be great. I'm sure he could go to the USA, go to MLS. But as far as top flight football is concerned, no, it's that ship has gone, I'm afraid, for Ronaldo.
So Eddie Howe at Newcastle should stay well clear of him. Is that what you're saying?
I would suggest that wouldn't be the right move. Let me put it that way.
Liverpool, if they don't get Bellingham, which is looking likely now, what about Alexis McAllister of Brighton? Had a great World Cup. He's a super player. Would he be a good alternative for Liverpool?
Yes, please. Absolutely. Yeah, I think, I think if you look back at Thiago Alcantara when Klopp brought him in, I think he brought him in to have a little bit more football in the middle of the park, because previously the three that they had, Wijnaldum and Henderson and Fabinho, was about getting the ball back. It was work rate. It was closing down. It was making challenges to get the ball to the front three. And when he brought Thiago in, I think he was looking to play a little bit more football. Unfortunately, Thiago defensively gives you absolutely nothing, where McAllister gives you the football going forward, but I think gets around the field and picks up better positions defensively. So yeah, McAllister's a great football player, and absolutely, I think that would be a good signing for Liverpool.
What about James Maddison? There's a lot of talk that he won't be at Leicester next season, regardless of which division they find themselves in. His best position is probably playing off the striker or as one of the three in a 4-2-3-1. Is there an obvious fit for James Maddison in the Premier League or elsewhere?
I don't think there is. To me, he's one of those guys that hasn't fulfilled his potential. He has ability. He can strike a ball, whether it's from a set piece or moving. He can play a pass. He actually possesses everything you need to play at the highest level. Unfortunately, he doesn't do enough work in the 90 minutes for me. You see him in patches. What we used to call a luxury player. The best sides today don't have luxury players. Everybody has to be at it. And I think that's the one thing that's missing from James Maddison's game, is he's not at it from minute 1 to minute 90 plus, whatever it may be. And that, for me, is why he won't end up. Because if Leicester do go down, there's no question that he will be sold. But to where? Premier League. Listen, he can play. He can play for most teams on the planet. I just don't believe he fits the best teams. Let me put it that way.
Interesting. We're going to end by keeping in the same position that we've been talking about, midfielders, and supposedly around 30% of all goals come from, directly or indirectly, a set piece. James Ward-Prowse is one of the best from a dead ball in the world, never mind in England. But like James Maddison, does he fit elsewhere? If Southampton were to go down and he wanted to move, is there another obvious club? Is he a luxury player, like you've been talking about James Maddison, or is he someone that a team would need because of his ability from a set play?
No, he's not. Ward-Prowse is not a luxury player. No, he puts a shift in. He gets around. He just doesn't have the ability as far as through part. Looking at, he doesn't see the game the same way the likes of Maddison does. But the fact that he does get around, the fact that he does do a shift and do the hard work, and the fact that he has that ability from set pieces means that 100% he should be playing in the Premier League. Again, if you're looking at the top sides, would he be a regular? I don't think so. Is he the type of guy that would be perfect as your 12th or 13th guy? If you're a top side, then I think he fits in perfectly into that mould. But I would assume that Ward-Prowse wants to play football every Saturday or whenever it may be, week in, week out. And so I suggest he's probably going to end up, if Southampton go down, if he wants to, because this is the type of guy that you get the feeling might stay with Southampton and bring them back up. But if he doesn't want to do that, then I think there's a lot of Premier League sides would take him. Somebody like West Ham, Brentford, probably middle of the table sides. No question, he would offer them a lot.
Okay, one of the players we started talking about in transfer talk was Cristiano Ronaldo. So why don't we end with Lionel Messi? Supposedly didn't get permission to go to Saudi Arabia. I think the deal was if PSG won or drew at the weekend, then they could have a couple of days off. But because they lost, the coach wanted them in. He had prior arrangements to go to Saudi Arabia, where he's an ambassador for the country. And now PSG has suspended him without pay for a couple of weeks. Is this a relationship that is irreparable now? The damage is done and Messi will be headed somewhere come the summer when his contract expires?
100% over. I would suggest if you want to keep a player, you don't suspend them for not turning up for training one day. So I think there's no question. It's difficult to understand what's behind this, because for a day off, you're really going to suspend somebody like Messi for 2 weeks over a day off that he wasn't supposed to get. That would suggest there's some sort of petty bickering going on in the background. Somebody's trying to one-up somebody else. It certainly doesn't befit a player of his caliber or a club, a so-called top-tier club in PSG. The kind of behaviour that seems to consistently come out of PSG is just incredible. There's just always something going wrong there. And if there's nothing going wrong, they figure a way out of making something go wrong. And this is a perfect example. A guy like Messi wants a day off, big deal, and you suspend him for 2 weeks. Really? So, it sounds like they've done him a favour. He can have another couple of weeks off instead of a day off and say bye-bye at the end of the season.
That was the softball question. The main one to end with is not where do you think he's going to end up? Where does Stevie Nicol want Lionel Messi to end up next season so you can watch him on TV and enjoy him? Where would Stevie Nicol's ideal landing spot for Lionel Messi be?
Air United.
You wouldn't know how to get the Scottish Championship on your TV, son. I had to tell you how to switch it on.
Oh, I think if Lionel Messi was at Air United, the games would be on the TV. Don't you worry.
Realistically, where could he end up? Who could afford him? The Barcelona question won't go away. Major League Soccer. He's probably got one more move. Where do you think it'll be?
I mean, listen, the thing is, it's actually up to him. If he wants to go to MLS, he can do it. If he wants to go back to Barcelona, he could probably do that as well. Just don't take any money. I mean, so it really depends on him. Does he want to go back to Argentina? Does he want to finish his career in Argentina? I mean, there are so many options. I mean, not a surprise. He basically has almost any sort of option that he wants. So I'm going to say MLS, but not with any great confidence.
Yeah. Well, I actually went to school with the Ayr United manager, Lee Bullen, so I'll put a call into him and I'll see what I can do for you. Okay? Try and get Messi to Ayrshire.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.